Okay, it's here. So we already have set up the Nagios server, and we have seen the Nagios GUI, and we have even seen how the check command work in Nagios. I mean, whenever you want to monitor a service or you want to monitor a host, you want to run a check command. Nagios would run a check command, which will in fact get executed and give a response to the Nagios server either through a status code 0, 1, or 2. 0 for OK, 1 for warning, and 2 for critical. That's how it is. And right, so what I'm going to do is let me log into my AWS account. And I have this machine. I think that is my Nagios server. Let me log into this machine. etc Nagios 3 conf.d. Over here you can see the configuration files of Nagios. So now we have seen how you can write a plugin, right? How you can write a plugin and execute a Linux command or send a status code of 0, 1, or 2 based on what the script has found to let Nagios know about the status of the service. Okay, great. So in fact, actually, is it the local host that you are interested to monitor? Actually, of course, you need to monitor the local host also. You have the Nagios server, and this Nagios server also you need to monitor. That's why you put localhost as your first host that you want to monitor. But typically, Nagios is not used for monitoring its own. It is used for monitoring the node that are part of your infrastructure. You have a number of nodes in part of your infrastructure. Then you want to monitor all these nodes. That's your intention. So you need to define all these hosts individually into Nagios, right? Add the host machines into Nagios. Then you need to define service for them. Or maybe what you can do, you can create a host group. Then maybe multiple host groups like web server group, database server group, like that. You can create multiple groups. Then you can add the machine into the respective host group. Then to that host group, we can define the services better, right? It's always better. You can define the host groups, then add the individual machine to the host group. Then when you define the services, you define services for host group rather than individual hosts. Like Chef, in Chef you have role, right? Similarly, you can create groups in Nagios, host groups in Nagios. Add the machine to the respective group. When you define a service, you can define the service for the group instead of individual machines. I will show you that there is already some service definition. If you look at, there is a file called services underscore nagios2.cfg. Over here, you can see there are two service definitions. The first service look HTTP. The second service check SSH. These are the two services that you are checking. And this is the command being used. One is check HTTP and the other is check SSH. These are the two commands that we are using to monitor the given services. So over here, instead of host name, you are putting host group name, basically the group that you are monitoring, not individual machine. So what it means is there is a host group called HTTP server, and whichever machine is part of this host group will be checked for this particular service. So let's go to the Nagios dashboard. We can see that over here. So click on services on the left side. You can see HTTP and SSH services monitored for Nagios. The reason is nothing but these are not the services that you define individually for localhost. It is actually uh, done for this group, and actually localhost is part of this group. Let's go ahead and open the file host group.cf underscore nagios cfg. Over here, there's a group called HTTP service, and localhost is a member. And there is another group called SSH, and localhost is a member. So any service that you define for these host groups are going to be applied for all members. In this case, it is only localhost. There can be multiple people. So for localhost, you can see HTTP and SSH service are being monitored. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one more machine. I'm going to create one more machine, and I will add that as a Nagios client, basically a machine that you want to monitor. So create the machine. And maybe call it web 001 machine. Any it can be any machine. There are lots of machine in your infrastructure. This is one of them. Just think that. So this is the machine, and I am going to add this machine to Nagios. I always prefer to use private IP for some reason, because I do not want the communication happening between public IP unless it is mandatory, right? And normally, when you want to do some monitoring, and as long as the machines are in same VPC or same local network, always try to do it through the local IP or the private IP, so that the machine can directly communicate each other without going to the internet. That's better always. So I'm going to define a new host into my Nagios. This is the IP address. So go ahead, go inside maybe you can do that in the same file, localhost underscore nagios2.cfg. Let me go ahead and open that file. And this is one host definition which I already have. I'm going to add a new host also. I mean, the file name doesn't really matter. Either I can create a new file if I want. Let's say go ahead and create a new file, web001.cfg. If I want, I can do that, or I can edit the same localhost file that you see here. I'm doing that, and I'm going to add one more host. This is how a host definition will look like. Define host, use generic host, host name web001, alias web001, address, the private IP of the machine. I'm going to put here. Okay, so I am defining a new host, and I will add this machine also to the HTTP service group. That's possible, right? There's already a host group like this HTTP service. To this host group, I am going to add the new machine also, the web001 machine. Localhost is already there. Put a comma, then web001 machine. So now both localhost and web001 machine are members. Save this file. And now restart Nagios, of course. Service Nagios 3 restart is the command you need to run to restart Nagios. Now go to your dashboard. Now refresh it. You can see the click on the host on the left side. You can see now there are two hosts that are being watched. Localhost was already there. Web001 is a new machine that got added. Click on services on the left side. You can see the list of services being monitored. HTTP is one service that you are monitoring for the host web001. That's what you do, right? And it will take some time, up to 5 minutes, until it will check the service and mark it as critical or okay. In our case, it is definitely going to be critical, right? Isn't it? So basically, we are watching the HTTP service on web001 machine. Web001 machine is nothing but a new machine that you created inside your AWS, and this does not have Apache running, or even the port 80 is not open. So if the Nagios server here want to connect to this machine to check Apache, it will not be able to do so because Apache is not running. So obviously it would mark this particular service as critical once it checked it. So refresh it, probably it would have already completed checking. No, not yet. Pending means the status is yet to be checked. The service is yet to be checked is what mean by pending, and this is when the time is scheduled. So let it do whenever it works. So this is how you can define multiple hosts into Nagios, then add the machines into particular group. Then you can define services. You already have defined one service, the check HTTP service for this particular group over here. Okay, fine. So now what I want to do is the same thing, same plugin I am going to write down. This is your Nagios server, and assume you have multiple machine which you want to monitor. There are multiple machine that Nagios server want to monitor. Maybe it want to monitor Apache. There's a process running called Apache. So you are going to define a service called Apache, and you would define this service Apache for a host group called web server. I'm going to create a new host group called web server, and I am going to add my new machine into that particular group. Then I will define a service Apache which will check all the machine part of this host group. In our case, it's single machine. So let us go ahead and do that. So I'm already logged into the Nagios server here, and now I am going to write a program which will connect to other machine through SSH. Maybe the web001 machine, in our case, it will connect to web001 machine through SSH and check if Apache is running. That is what my script is going to do. So I'm going to write the script for that. Okay, so where do you do that? User lib Nagios, is it? And go to the plugins folder. You can see a list of scripts here. So I'm going to create a new script. Check uh, Apache, right? I'm going to create a new script. Basically, what the script does is it will check if Apache or check service. It will check a given service is running or not. That's what the script I'm going to. It's a shell script that I want to write. Bash. Okay. So what is the first thing I want to do? I want to get the process name. Process name is equal to $1. The first positional parameters that you are passing would become the process name. Then you run the command pgrep process name. Send it to dev null. Put an if condition. Okay. What is that? Dollar question mark equal to 0. The same script. Okay. One thing. So I got the process name. Then I also want the name of the machine which I want to monitor. Okay. I also want the name of the machine which I want to monitor. And it is on that machine I need to run this pgrep command. So, so which server you want to monitor or which Nagios node that you want to monitor. Node is equal to $2. So the service that you want to monitor, you will pass it as the first argument. The machine that you want to monitor, you will pass it as the second argument, or the other, make it the other way around better. Okay. Now the process name I am setting to $2 and the node name I am setting to $1. So the first argument is the machine that you want to monitor. Second argument is the process that you want to monitor in that particular machine. So this pgrep command, you want to run that inside the machine. How you will run that? You can run the command through SSH. The command is SSH. Then I don't want the SSH warning to be coming. SSH ignore host key check. This is the SSH command I want to run because whenever you run the SSH command, if you remember, you always get a warning. The host key check has failed. Do you want to continue? So I don't want that check to be performed. That's why I am turning that check off so that I won't get any warning. Now I will log into the machine. Ubuntu $node, right? $node is nothing but the machine. Then you put the command that you want to run on the machine. Okay, so this is the command that you want to execute on the node. And again, the check is same. So if this command is successful, then Apache is okay. Otherwise, Apache is not okay. exit with a status code of 0 if it is okay. Okay, so that's it. This is what I want to do. This time I am running this pgrep command on a remote machine through sh. This is the syntax if you want to run a command on remote machine through sh. Then again I will check if this sh command is successful. Did you execute this command successfully? In that case, it would say the process is okay. Otherwise, it would say the process is critical. So go ahead and save this script. So how you will run this script? How you will execute this script? Give it 755 permission. Check service. Okay. So if you want to execute the script, syntax would be check service. Then the machine which you want to monitor, it is nothing but this. This is the name of the machine or the IP of the machine. Then which service you want to monitor? Let's say Apache 2 is what you want to monitor. So what this particular command will do, it will connect to this machine through SSH. It will check if Apache process is running. If it is running, it will send the status code of 0 to Nagios. Otherwise, it would send a status code of 2. But one thing that you need to take care, of course, the SSH, your Nagios server should be able to. This is your Nagios server, which is running under a user called Nagios. This Nagios user inside your Nagios server should be able to connect to the remote machine through SSH. You should be able to do that through SSH. This Nagios server inside your Nagios user inside your Nagios server should be able to connect to the Web 001 machine. So that's exactly what I'm going to do. First thing what I will do is I will switch myself to the Nagios. Okay. First, take a look at the etc password file and check the user settings of Nagios. Bin false means this guy does not have shell access. Linux shell access, this guy does not have. So I want him to have access, right? Of course, he need to run the sh command. In that case, he needs shell access. So instead of false, I am putting bash. I want the user Nagios to be able to use shell, the bash shell. So that's exactly what I'm doing now. I put bash as the shell of the Nagios user. I can directly edit this password file, or I can run the user mod command also. Right? How you will run the user mod command? If you have to run the user mod command, what is it? User mod. I don't know. The machine looks little slow. I don't know the reason. Yeah, you can also run this command user mod -s. You can put what shell you want Nagios user to use. Then you put the username. This is also fine. Now, if you look at etc password file, you can see now the Nagios server got a shell. Now you can log in as user Nagios. Right? Over here you can see now the shell is changed to bash. Great. Now I will switch myself to the Nagios user and I am going to generate a key pair. What I will do on the Nagios server, I will generate a key pair, a private key and one public key. The public key I will copy to the Web 001 machine here. Right? And then using the private key, Nagios user can connect to the remote machine Web 001. So first create a key pair, private public key pair is what I'm going to do. So this is the private key and this is the public key. This public key I am going to copy to the Web 001 machine. So first let me log into the Web 001 machine. This is it. Into that machine under the Ubuntu user I will copy this file. Should run connect, yes. Inside Ubuntu user authorized keys, I am going to copy this public key. It's already one public key, of course, the one by AWS. I'm going to copy the key of Nagios server also to the web server on machine. Okay, save this file. Now the Nagios server can connect to the machine through SSH. You can test that if you want. SSH Ubuntu at the rate, then the IP address of the machine. You can either use the private IP or public IP. I'm using private IP. So try to log in. You are logged in, right? It's looking good. So let me log out. Let me come back to the Nagios server. So the connection, SSH connection is looking good. So Nagios server is ready to execute the script for you. Now let's go ahead and define the command. Where you will define the command? You will define the command inside etc Nagios plugins folder.
Basa,
Yeah.
I have a question. I mean, we are defining the host name in the server configuration, right? But still, do we need to give the SSH command in the script? Because I'm just thinking it's going to take directly from the, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what I'm asking is like we defined SSH command in the script, right? I mean, the script we just made.
Mm-hmm.
So, but do we really need to do that because we are mentioning the host name in the server configuration files, right? So I think by default it will be SSH. I mean, it will try to SSH to the required host name.
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
So that's why probably there is already a plugin, but I want you to understand the concept. But
Okay.
that check process that we wrote last time, it won't work.
Okay.
In no place we mentioned the remote host, right? The last
Yeah.
yesterday script that we had written, in no place we had written, even though we are specifying host name in the service, we have nowhere we
Okay.
have written how Nagios will connect to that host.
Okay.
It is a plain shell script that we had written yesterday. There was no connection to the remote host in that script, right? So
Okay.
today we are making some changes here. I will show you how to do that. So this is the folder, and this is where my script is located. Inside this folder, check service. This is the script which I need to use if I want to monitor any process running inside a remote machine through SSH. Okay, let's do that. So first, let me define the command. etc Nagios plugins config folder, and I'm going to define a new command here. What's the command? You can edit any file. Either you can, there's already one file called ssh.cfg. Maybe into that file I will define a command. It's up to you. You can either create a new file or edit one of the existing files. Either way, it's fine. So I'm going to define a new command here. Define command. What's the command name? Command name I am putting as check service through SSH. Maybe I will put this as the command name. Check service SSH is the command Nagios would use. Command line. What is the exact command it would execute? the script space the IP address of the machine space the service that you want to monitor, of course the argument one. Okay, so argument one is what? The service name. How about the machine IP? How you will get it? Actually, even if you don't pass any explicit argument from the service definition, automatically one argument is passed, not just one. Host name is one argument, and there is something called host address. Take a look here. Host address is passed to the command by default, even if you don't specify that as an argument in a service. So this is my command definition, which will receive one explicit argument, which is nothing but the process name, and one implicit argument that is passed by default, which is nothing but the machine that you are monitoring. Then close the bracket. Save this. So this is the command I am going to use to define a service. I don't know, the machine seems to be very slow. I don't know the reason. You don't find any problem with my voice or anything, right? Or my screen? Is it all looking good? Yeah, my SH connection seems very slow, hence asking. Hello, can you hear me well? I cannot hear you.
Yes, everything.
Okay, okay,
Yes, yes.
okay. Come on, it's not getting. Let me log in again to the Nagios server. Okay, it is the Nagios plugins config folder. Open ssh.cfg. You can see there are a number of command definitions. Okay, so I defined this command. Now I am going to define the service. So I'm defining a service. I'm defining a new service. Maybe I will define the service for the host group, not a single machine. I want this check to be applied for all machines. Define service. Host group, I will make it HTTP service. It sucks. I don't know why it is very slow. I will reboot this machine. Okay, anyway, it's working. Host group name I am going to put as HTTP service. Service description I will put something like, let's say, Apache. Now I want to monitor Apache service. Check command. Check command is going to be, what is that? Check service SSH is the command which I had defined. And what argument you would pass? The service name, Apache 2, is what you would pass. It's only Apache 2 that you will pass. Automatically, when the service check runs, the host name will be passed automatically. So when this particular service check for web 001 machine, automatically the IP address of web 001 machine is passed as a implicit argument to this particular command that you have defined. So it will come as host address here, and this host address would be replaced with the actual machine that is being monitored. If it is web 001 machine, yes, web 001 machine IP would be replaced here, followed by the argument 1, which is nothing but the explicit argument that you are passing from here. It's Apache 2. Use generic service. Yeah, let it be. So that's all. So as you can see, I am defining this particular service for HTTP service. Whichever machine part of this HTTP service group will have this particular service being checked, the Apache service. So save this file. And now I am going to add my web 001 machine to HTTP service group. So go ahead and open this file host group. It is inside this particular file. You define the host groups. You can see HTTP service there. And I already have added web 001 as a member. Yeah, I did that already. So let's forget it. I'm going to restart Nagios now. I made a lot of configuration modification. Now I am going to restart Nagios service Nagios 3. Restart. You can see the Nagios got restarted now. Go ahead and take a look and in the web page. Yeah, this was the previous HTTP servers that was being checked. It is already marked as critical. Now you refresh this, you can see a new service has come. It has come not only for web 001, it has come for web 001 as well as localhost, because it applied to all the machine part of that particular group. Right now, both localhost and web 001 machine are part of this particular group. So in this case, it would, the service would come across both hosts. So it will take some time, and as you can see, within some times, even this, right now I do not have Apache installed inside the web 001 machine. I will go ahead and do that. So inside the web server 01 machine, I am going to install Apache so that so I am already installing Apache in the web server 01 machine. Now I don't know if the check will already run before Apache get installed. In the local host, the Apache service is showing as critical. It is expected. Why? In the local host, Apache service is supposed to be coming as critical only. The reason is this particular service is checked through SSH command. So it will try to SSH to the local host. When this service is being checked, it will try to SSH to the web 001 machine when this service is being checked. Which will be successful? SSH to the local host will obviously fail. There is no key that you copied into the authorized keys in localhost, so it will fail. That's why the sh command got failed. That's why it is critical. But yeah, but in this particular case, sh command will be successful because you already copied the public key into web 001 machine authorized keys. So in this particular case, this is supposed to come in OK status. I don't know if it will. Let's take a look. Refresh it. It came as critical. It got timed out. SSH connection got timed out. How is that? Sorry, so I'm sorry. Take a look at this Apache. It is marked as OK, right? It's working fine for web 001 machine. Make sense? So this way, you can use some SSH plugin to connect to the remote node and do some kind of monitoring. You can either write it your own, or you can rely on some Nagios scripts. Search in Google Nagios script to check this space through SSH. You don't need to write the script. That's what I'm trying to say. Let's say you came across a situation, you want to monitor the displays on all the machines. So there is some command called check disk that you can directly download from here. You don't need to write the script of your own. You can simply download the script from here and then simply use it. This is the script. It is a simple bash script. You can download that bash script into your plugins folder. Which folder? User lib, whichever. Maybe preferably user lib Nagios plugins folder. Right here, you can download this script and then use this script. Right, download this script and use this script. It will work. So like that. Now you want to check the memory through SSH. You will get some script that can check memory through SSH. So simply download this script, define a Nagios command, use the command. So that's what you need to do. And yeah, so this is how you can do monitoring on remote machine on particular services. So always remember, the most preferred way to manage a set of machine is by creating host groups. Create host groups based on the machine roles. create a group called web surveys, create another group called DB surveys, create another group called load balancer. So like that, you can create multiple groups. Then each machine part of your infrastructure can be added to one or more groups. Then automatically, whatever service that you define for individual group will apply on the individual machines also. Whichever machine part of that particular group will run those services. And you can connect to the remote machine through SSH, or there are some other protocols also, but maybe you don't really need to focus on them. There is something called SNMP. It's not very widely used today. It was the most widely used protocol earlier. But it's a weak protocol. It's a weak protocol in the sense it does not meet the security standards. So maybe you can focus on SSH only. What I want you to do is, I will leave it to you. You can download the plugin yourself, or it's up to you. You can decide what you want to do. I want you to monitor the same infrastructure that you have set up using Chef, right? You have already defined an infrastructure. So monitor every services in that infrastructure. What you need to do is just create the host groups like Nginx machines, or it's not Nginx you used, right? Apache. Create groups like Apache machines, Tomcat machines, like that. You don't need to complete the full assignment. I mean, I just want to make sure that you understood the logic. So monitor only these four things, nothing else. Right? Basically, you need a different script that use SSH to connect to the remote node and then execute, find out these things. If Apache is running, if CPU load is high, if memory usage is high, if disk space usage is high. So download this script, then use those script to find out the load on the remote machine, these particular service, to monitor these services on the remote node. Do this. So this is what I want you to do as an assignment for Nagios, right? Basically, visualize it. I mean, you don't need to practically work out each and every services. In the previous infrastructure, there are lots of them. Apache is there, Tomcat is there. Then the WordPress file you need to check if it is fetching the WordPress web page. Then you want to check the SSH services. There are many services that you want to monitor. Don't focus much on that. Only monitor these services, but create the host groups. Create a host group called HTTP server, create another host group called Tomcat surveys, another host group called database surveys. Like that, you create the host groups, then add the machines part of your infrastructure into that host group, define each and every individual host machine into Nagios, but monitor only these services. You don't really need to. So probably you need to download some script from internet, like this, like I did, like I showed you. Search in Google Nagios script to check the memory through SSH, or check disk space through SSH, or check CPU through SSH. Like this, you can search in Google. You will get some script which you will simply download to your user lib Nagios plugins folder. Then define a command in Nagios which will use this script to connect to the remote machine and check the load, or check the Apache service, whatever. Then define the service in Nagios and assign that into host groups. Don't assign it directly to any individual machine. Always assign the services to the host groups. Then whatever machine part of that particular host group will run this particular service. That's what I want you to do as an assignment. Right? So that's pretty much about Nagios. Is pretty straightforward, right? Not very complex, right? Not like Chef. Yeah. So finish this, and it is, but that is one of the most important topic too. Nagios is one of the most important topic also. So, and it is a easy to learn topic. Complete it. If you need to watch the video again, complete this assignment also. It would be helpful. All right, to explain to the interviewer about your infrastructure and how you split the machine into different host groups. Right. Yeah. Any questions? Actually, all the remaining tools are kind of straightforward. From now, our course is not very complex actually, and not just Nagios and Docker, Jenkins, Git, all these tools, Git, GitHub, GitLab, Apache, and everything. All these DevOps tools, and from now that we are going to learn, they are kind of straightforward only, not very complex. Yeah. What about come Xfinity? What is that? Come Xfinity. Xfinity is a service, but Balraj, I did not get your question. Synapse. Yeah. Can we monitor synapd process in Ubuntu? Is that the question? Are you using Nagios? Is that the question? I did not get your question actually. So here I define one more service. In this case, it uses the same script, same command it would use to monitor RSS log D. Yes, that is also possible. So in this case, as you can see, the check is applied on HTTP service to which both localhost and web001 machine are members. So the check will apply, the RSS log D would be checked on both localhost and the web001 machine, and obviously localhost will fail because SSH connection will fail. We have not configured SSH connection within the local host. We configured it between the Nagios server and web001 machine. Yeah, restarted Nagios. Now if you refresh this, you can see one more new service came, RSS log. It came on both localhost and web001 machine. And you know the reason, of course. This would be in OK status. This will be in critical status because SSH connection will fail within localhost, but within web001 machine, SSH connection will succeed and it will check, run this script RSS logd. It will realize that it is working fine. Then it would print you OK.